Hey everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd do this before I kind of lie down for a little bit, get a couple of hours of sleep before I work. But with with the California primary over, pretty much, it looks like the two people who are going to get the nominations uh, for the presidency of the United States are lock, as far as we know. Despite all the controversy and everything that follows them, I think we have to look at it this way. You know, my mom would tell me, as well as our pastor at my church would say, and I'm sure any pastor at any church would say the same thing, or any religious pastor, pope, bishop, you name them, would say the same thing, and that is whoever becomes president, we just got to pray for them. When Obama became president, not once but twice, we still had to pray for him. We had to pray that he made the right decisions and he did what was right for this country. A lot of people look at Obama now, and those that voted for him now look back at it and probably start thinking, did we make the right decision? And, it's hard to say. I mean, no doubt Obama is going to go down as probably the most polarizing president we've ever had since Bill Clinton. But when one looks at it, you know, it was what it was. There's nothing we can do about it. But now we look forward to what happens this year. Now, apparently, there are three primary candidates remaining. Some in the background that still have a long shot, but sort of a shot, a wild card kind of situation. But there are basically a lot. But basically, there are three sort of in the running. Some, like I said, have a shot. Some have actually decided to go from being Republican and Democrat to being independent or whatever party they choose that could best benefit them. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When I look at the top three that remain, Sanders, Trump, and Clinton, you got to go with the lesser of two evils. Now I know, Sanders. He's got his followers. He's speaking a lot of stuff. He's talking about a lot of things, and traditionally, to have someone like Sanders become president would be due to the fact that the guy is older than Clinton and Trump, and that by being older, he's a little wiser, and by being a little wiser, he has more experience and is able to take on the mantle of President of the United States. But then you look at Trump and Clinton. Now, people want to vote for Trump because basically he's a reality star, celebrity, if you will, a la Ronald Reagan. Maybe not in the same category, but you get the idea. But yet, here's a guy that I will admit, I hate to say it, despite the controversy and stuff that surrounds him, will speak his mind. He will speak his mind, and he'll say it like it is, whether people want to hear it or not. He'll say it like it is, and that's why a lot of people would like to have him in the Oval Office. The fact that he's the kind of person that will say it like it is. Now, there's a lot of people that look at Donald Trump doing this, and even Donald Trump admitted it a while back too, that this was all planned out as a publicity stunt. Maybe just a little bit of a joke, a tease, but the rumblings of him doing it and it actually happening became a reality. People wanted Trump because he was speaking to them a lot of truth. He was speaking and saying things that nobody else would ever say about what the Congress are up to. What happens behind the scenes and what needs to change and what kind of people need to go and stuff like that. And it's like, this was music to people's ears because this is what they've been wanting. And all of a sudden, it just started to snowball into this. All of a sudden, it started to have the snowball effect that all of a sudden now, the possibility of Donald Trump becoming President Trump is a reality. And I think that's why people like Trump. He's more in your face, tell it like it is. And as my mom pointed out, the one positive thing about him is he's against abortion. He's against abortion. He's against any legalization of abortion or whatever you want to call it. He's against it. But then on the other hand, so that's why a lot of people, I believe, would like to see Trump as well. He's someone that's like, hey, if you're 16 or 17, you get pregnant with a child, it's your responsibility. You can't get rid of this child. You can't hurt this child. You can't do this. It's your responsibility to take care of that child. So, cool. Kudos. I think another thing that runs in his favor, he has an attractive wife. He does. Now, some might think that she'll be the kind that just... Now, some might say that that could also be his downfall. That his wife can play all nice and say good things about him and stuff, but in reality, she's just more about glitz and glamour, and that's it. But we'll have to wait and see. Because a lot of people will look at his wife and think, yeah, she's younger than him. She's all about the glitz and the glamour and the fortune and the fame. She's not going to be like what Michelle Obama is, which is the only good thing some people might say about Barack Obama is his wife. The fact that she actually wants to do good. She wants to correct things. She wants things to be better. So, I mean, my mom even said that's the best thing that's come out of the presidency, so out of the current presidency. But again, there are some that will look at that young wife of Trump's and think that might be his downfall. That might be the thing that doesn't get him the presidency because of that. But then you look on the side of the Clinton camp. What is this, her third or second time running? And now she's got the best chance of all because, let's face it, whether Sanders is still in the Democratic Party with her or is in another party now, whatever, she's pretty much a lock in the eyes of a lot of people. GMA's talking about it. Today's talking about it. CBS This Morning's talking about it. Fox and Friends is talking about it. Alex Jones. Everybody is talking about it. Young Turks are talking about it. The fact that she is pretty much a lock to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. And here's why people would want to vote for Clinton. Here's why. In recent years, we have seen a huge surge, tremendous positive surge when it comes to women in sports, when it comes to women as leaders in business, women as founders, inventors, or entrepreneurs. We have seen this huge surge, positive surge of that happening, and now we have the opportunity for the possible presidential nomination of our First Lady President, or Madame President, or whatever you're going to call her. But just like Trump, and even Sanders, I'm sure of, and anybody else, along with her comes controversy. The emails, the things like the emails and whatever else controversial subjects get brought up, these are things that follow her. And I know what a lot of people are thinking. A lot of people are thinking that a woman is probably the best thing that can happen to the White House, can happen to this country, because she will not procrastinate. She will get things done. But yet, here's someone that's the difference between her and Trump is she's for abortion. She is for the ruling and the passing of a law that allows a teen mom or a young mom to abort her child, to kill her unborn child because she doesn't want to take responsibility or she feels she's not ready. And there are people that are okay with that. And you know what? A majority of those supporters that support her are those kind of people. And if they choose to support that kind of law, that kind of, option, okay, fine. But you got to live with the consequences. But the thing is, that's the one thing that causes a lot of voters to want to go in the direction of Trump or even Sanders or anybody else, because of the fact that she's for abortion and the fact that she's got a lot of this baggage, controversial baggage, following her. And with all this controversial baggage following her into possibly the White House, it's like, to quote James Wolfe as the angry video game nerd, what are they thinking? What is the Democratic Party thinking, possibly nominating this lady to be the best chance in the White House? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people might come out and say, yeah, she's wrong about about being for abortion and all that. And yeah, that's the only bad thing about her. But she's got all these good ideas that outweigh that negative, that all her positives outweigh any negatives that are about her. Okay, fine. She might have some positive things about her, except the abortion deal. And maybe anything else. But here's another reason people want to vote for her. And it's like I mentioned, in recent years, we have seen that positive, strong surge of strong women in sports and athletics. We've seen it in movies, in movies and television and music. We've seen it with them as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as founders. And this is why people, man and woman, straight, gay or lesbian, whatever, want to vote for her, because they want this to be the icing on the cake that women are finally on equal terms with men. That they now have just as much power as men. And another thing is because just like with Obama, they want to make history. When Obama got nominated, do you think it's because people wanted to nominate him because of everything he was talking about that he was going to try to follow through on, which some he did, most he didn't? No, they wanted to nominate him because they wanted to make history by nominating and electing the first African American president, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, okay? If that's what you wanted to do, fine. You did it. You made history, not once but twice. And now people want to make history again by saying, hey, we did it once by nominating and electing our first African American president. Let's make history again by nominating and electing our first lady president. But yet, here's the difference. Obama, as far as I can remember, when he first got elected, never brought any controversial baggage with him out of the Senate. He never did. As far as I know. Clinton has a lot of baggage, and it doesn't just steam or stern, or it doesn't just stern from what people are accusing her of doing with the emails and all that other crap, but from what her husband has done. And you're bringing that baggage possibly back into the White House. And what? You're going to make history by not only making her the first lady president, but by making them the first married couple to both be president, to both hold the title of president of the United States. Because honestly, folks, when you come down and when you come down to it, that's what this is all about. You can have all your nominees spout out all these positive things that they're going to do that will outweigh any negatives that you might hear about them, or people might mention about them, or other nominees or rivals might talk about them. But all you want to do when it comes mostly to Trump and Clinton is you want to make history. It's all about making history. That's what this election is. That's what this presidential election is. It's all about making history. In the history of either getting the second ever celebrity reality star, first ever multi-billionaire, if you will, in Donald Trump in the White House, or nominating and getting our first lady president in the White House, as well as at the same time make history by having the first married couple to both hold the presidency of the United States. That's all this election is. When you come down to it, when you get down to it, it's all it is. It's all about making history. We could care less about what they're going to say. We just want to make history. That's all we want to do. And you know what? Sometimes making history isn't always the best thing. Let me just point that out. Sometimes making history is not always the best thing, and you and everybody listening, you, and you, to quote Jeff Schiegel, the Slag Daddy, need to realize that. If God, if the Lord above, if God Almighty Himself has a purpose for one of these two being in there, one or the other will win. But I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to the next several months going into November 7th, we better start thinking twice about who we nominate. Because we better start thinking, you know what? As great as it might be to make history, maybe we ought to think twice about what we're getting ourselves into and try to go a more safer route. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's all this is. That's all. When you get down to it, that's all this election is. It's about making history. Because we could care less about what they say and what they plan to do. It's all about making history. It's all about saying, yeah. It's all about telling our grandkids and our great-grandkids, yeah, I was there when we nominated our first lady president. It's all about that. It's all about looking back 30 years from now and saying, I remember 2016, the year we nominated our first reality star, multi-millionaire president. That's all it is. It's all about making history. And honestly, that's all I'm going to say on it. You guys tell me what you think. Do you agree with me? Because honestly, when one thinks about it and gets down to it, that's all this election is.